Hello everybody and welcome back into the Captain's Draft 3.0 presented by Dota Cinema and moonducktv. We've got our second series of the day. It is Complexity Gaming going up against Team Spirit in what I believe is the winner's bracket second round in this best of three series. Team Spirit just going up against State Gaming and taking them out in a two-game series, 2-0ing State Gaming. That second game a bit closer than maybe they would have liked, but now they have a very tough task. Complexity Gaming has been playing outstandingly. We saw them yesterday, of course, go up against, I believe, Power Rangers and Digital Chaos in Canada Cup, and Complexity Gaming took them down in a three-game series. So we'll see how they do. Before we do jump into the draft, of course, we're here on moonducktv. My name is Mont. Joining me today is Pitmoku doing observing its stats, or rather just observing, no stats today for him. We do have DRASKYL, of course, doing co-casting, and a special guest is going to be joining us today. Hello, Zahuri. How are you, sir?
Hi, Ma. Am I a special guest these days?
You're a special guest.
Jeez.
You really are.
All right, good. I feel special. Thanks, buddy. It's awesome to be here. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for being here as well, Ma. No, just kidding. Complexity Spirit, this should be good. I missed the Steak versus Spirit series, but I heard it was quite tantalizing.
It was. DRASKYL, I mean, we saw that series, and it was so close for Steak in game number 2, man. They had it. What happened? What happened?
The reverse of the smoke that you had happened. The smoke that ended the game the right way instead of ending the game the wrong way.
Yes.
But sometimes you're just winning the game, and then one smoke gank gets you double racks, and then you can't win anymore. It was a little bit unfortunate for them.
I don't think people in stream heard this story. It's not a great one, but I'll tell it very quickly in comparison. Let's just say my team was down 6k gold. We're going to smoke and win our third fight in a row to get back into the game, and our Earthshaker went AFK, paused the game, and said I couldn't play. I couldn't play. And so our Earthshaker didn't get off his ultimate, and so we died. That was the story in a nutshell in about 5 seconds.
It's way better when he tells it off stream, because you can tell just how angry he was about the whole situation. Like,
I was livid.
You built it up for like 5 minutes, and then you're like, and all of a sudden the pause, and I was just like, all right, you lost. As soon as you said you paused the game, I just knew you lost.
I mean, we were all like, it was super positive. We had won a couple of fights. I was super excited about the future of that game, and then the Earthshaker just stands right there, and I'm like, what are you doing? I lost it, but I mean, what are you going to do? So, I mean, I guess we could talk about this game. Team Spirit, they played very well in that first game up against State Gaming. They had the right draft. They had the right strategy coming through. And Team Spirit now will start things off with a Dazzle, Shadow, Shaman, and Complexity will pick up the Wraith King on their side. I'm very excited to see how Complexity play because Swindle has been playing amazingly. DRASKYL has been playing so damn well.
Yeah, you were telling me in the break that Swindle was doing really good in the offline, so I'm curious to see how well he does in this matchup. I like Wraith King in this pool. There's not many heroes in the pool itself that just hard counter Wraith King. Like, no mana burning heroes to speak of. There's like no Nyx, no Diffusal Buyers really, unless you're going to pick like Carry Marana or something, which is just completely out of the ordinary. So I'm thinking this is a pretty solid opening here from Complexity. However, Spirit, they get themselves probably two of the better supports in the pool. I suppose Witch Doctor is still available. Sand King's a bit greedy. Okay, and Complexity just follow up with the Tusk. So this basically says they already know the Team Spirit have their two supports. It's very likely that they wouldn't be able to pick Tusk, and even if they did, it would probably be offlane. And it doesn't really fall under the category of the typical Goblak offlane by, Iron Talon on every single hero and just choke point jungle. But it does give them some lane dominance. We saw Steak earlier today in the first game do something very similar with the Spirit Breaker Tusk opening in the Captain's Draft, and it can be a lot to deal with. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see Cole pick up something else that can help them win the laning phase.
I think we need to commission one of the stats guys to give us the numbers on Meepo and Rikimaru. I swear to God, they have been in almost every single game that I have seen so far, and they have been completely ignored. I'm going to keep in the tradition. Shannon and Purge have been talking about Riki quite a bit. Shannon on the fence of, and Purge on the side of, no, never, shut up. So I'm gonna go the Shannon side here. What do you think, DRASKYL? Riki, viable in any scenario? Is he the worst hero in the game?
He's not the worst hero in the game, but he's definitely not good in my opinion. The problem is he still suffers from the same issues he had before. He really sucks at going high ground. His only real job is to gain information, is how people usually run him, similar to a bounty hunter, use the invisibility to your advantage. As a position 1, I feel he's very lacking. His ultimate is more of a defensive/utility ultimate than just sheer damage. It doesn't scale well with the hero. It's pretty much just a get-out-of-jail-free card more often than not. So I'm going to have to side with Kevin. I think the hero is pretty meh.
Yeah.
Not the worst hero in the game. It's not Bloodseeker status, but it's...
He's not as bad as Techies, but...
It's pretty bad.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I personally think Ricky's ult needs to be changed for the better. Obviously, if you get late game, you have like a Battle Fury or something, it could be okay, but the damage early on in the game is pretty awful, so we'll see how... I mean, Ricky's not going to get picked this series anyways, it doesn't matter, it's not going to get picked this game.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But this is what we are going to see, the Leshrac, which was picked in the first series, and Swindle played this yesterday to great effect, by the way. He played it in the safe lane with the help of another hero. He's obviously the offlane player, but we'll see if he grabs up the Leshrac again, and they go for maybe a little bit of a push strat, because they already don't have much push between the heroes that they have, but they have some very, very strong team fights, some good supports coming out, and this is a offlane Tusk, it looks like, coming through, or, yeah, maybe. I'm not sure, actually, how they're going to line this up.
It depends on the safe lane of Spirit. They could actually dual offlane if they wanted to. Oh, okay, Slark. I was going to say, Slark is probably the best carry that's left. It matches up well against Wraith King, and they don't really have the late game damage to really be able to kill it. The only downside is, once again, we see a lineup with like 5 stuns. It was similar earlier when Spirit were playing against Stake. They had something very similar. So Complexity's lockdown is more than enough to be able to kill a Storm and or a Slark, assuming they open up properly. My biggest concern is, can Complexity end the game fast enough? This is not a game you want to go late against Spirit. Storm Spirit and Slark together, incredibly mobile during the late game, even though Storm got, well, let's be honest, he got gutted with the nerfs. If he gets to the late game phases, he's still very, very hard to actually deal with. And Slark can be a total nightmare for these kind of supports. Like Rubik and Witch Doctor, against a late game Slark, I don't want to be either of those heroes. So I'm hoping that Complexity can get their dominant laning phase going, punish the greed of the Shadow Shaman and the Sand King of Spirit, and try to get things rolling early.
Yeah, I think they'll have a pretty long window on the side of Complexity, though, where this Wraith King will be really strong. I have a feeling Chessie's going to get some decent farm. Andy, make sure your mic
Oh
is
my
on
lord, are
in-game
they
as
going to
well.
go for the level 1 Roche? Is this going to actually happen? They smoked up, they're heading into the pit. This is it, Complexity. It wouldn't be Captain's Draft without something silly happening. They're going to pop the Edict, and they are going to level 1 Roche. That is disgusting.
Too. Everyone, good luck, have fun. Oh, let's distract them with words. Are they going to be able to do it, though? I'm not sure that they're going to have time to do this. It looks like Spirit are well on their way.
You can do it. It's just a matter of if Team Spirit know. If they
That's
don't
what I mean.
know,
Go Black is about to walk into the pit. There is an dire observer ward here. It's half health now. They need at least another minute to finish this off. This is so close. They have no idea. Team Spirit are like, where are Complexity right now? Will they walk in? That's the scariest possibility here for Complexity.
Yeah, Tusk Wraith King is really good for this.
Oh god, they're going to take it. They're going to take it.
I think they're going to get it.
Oh my lord, they're going to get it. Holy crap,
kind of scared here.
It's not really even worth contesting, though, if you're Spirit. Look at their level 1. Their level 1 sucks. They have a Slark, they have Storm and Shadow Shaman. Like, Dazzle doesn't even have Grave and a heal. Like, what is he gonna do? Realistically, you go in there, you're not even, like, you're probably not even gonna win that fight, actually, especially 4v5 since the Sand King was MIA.
And so everyone's level 2 now.
Yeah,
wow.
The Roshan is a very nice start, obviously. What they could have done is they could have all left the pit, let Limp get level 5, and then have a level 5 Lesh versus a level 1 Storm. That would have been fun to watch. But either way, it's still a very, very good start for them.
Man, look at that graph. That's like 600 net worth, 2,000 experience as soon as the creeps spawn.
Yep.
That's really the experience that the thing is going to come in most handy here for their team. He'll level up the Split Earth. You can see he's already got the Edict. He got it at level 1.
He's going to hit 3 on the first creep, yeah. So he's level 3 versus 1.
Iceberg is going to get zoned out. They even hit the Split Earth. Are they going to go for the Edict? He might as well. He could just be super aggressive. There's going to be the Remnant coming out, and Iceberg is going to have to chew through one of these tangles already. He gets a South Fairy to him as well. Not a great start so far. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they're going to find out Z-Freak with the pounce. He's got his Voodoo Restoration. The cast will go through as well. There's the Snowball. They should be able to avoid the rest of this damage. Maybe not. The Shackles will come through. This could be your first blood. Z-Freak is low, but the Voodoo Restoration is too strong, and they drop up that Frozen Sigil as well, and they have to back up because Ramses is low, and so is always Run of Fly. And so they keep Z-Freak alive.
That Sigil is sick, man.
Yeah, that Sigil actually saved him. Otherwise, he was a goner. So, Slark, a notoriously weak laner for most of the early game. It's not until you get level 6, 7, even some people would argue it's more like 10 or 11 where the hero really starts to come online, because he's not very good at trading until he has Essence Shift, and his damage output in the way of Dark Pact also hurts you. So it's not the best hero for lanes. The only reason I was skeptical of the pick in the first place is just because of that, but given the fact that it's a 2-1-2, and they'll be able to defensively tri-lane for Team Spirit, I think it will actually work out fine for them. And we mentioned that Complexity is the team who also has to have the better laning phase and the better start, so they need to keep a strong hold on this early game.
They're getting last hits for Chessie now. He's got 4. He has a full creep wave with him now. Meanwhile, Afterlife, the offline Sand King will pick up his early boots down bottom lane. It looks like Swindle might get caught. No, they won't go for the shackles. They're not in range. Z-Freak is rotated back towards that mid lane. Meanwhile, top rune spot, Burrow Strike. They get the haste rune for Afterlife. Nicely done. And so he'll just steal that. So the off-lane dual lane of the brothers, Swindle and Z-Freak, they've done this a lot. See if it continues to be success, as Swindle has to be a little bit careful, but here comes the backside. Split Earth will miss, and they could have waited for a telekinesis. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they will go ahead and snowball out. Swindle will try to make his way out. The pounce went through, but he'll stay alive and he'll be up and ready to go.
You know, this Aegis is going to act as a nice regen rune, too, for Limp. Pretty big for Lesh at this stage in the game. He can either suicide or just let it wear off.
Yeah, if he times it right, it's going to be really nice.
He's got 2 minutes left.
You can abuse it a lot. I mean, the thing is, Iceberg has managed still to get level 4, so it's not like the lane is completely dominated by any stretch, and I think his skill build is also a big reason for that. And normally you would level Lightning in the 1v1 just to be more dominant in lane, but I think he realizes they need to actually have some pushing power, because the rest of their team can't kill towers worth shit. Like, they're all crappy at hitting buildings, so they need at least one hero who's going to be able to hit down towers, because they need that map control. So Limp is not really doing as well in lane as he could if he went the Lightning build, but he'll need that pushing power instead.
Yeah, the only thing
Z-Freak's going to get caught out. There's the Shadow Wave. They're going to try to get him out of there. They have it pounce up and ready to go, but Ramses might have to use it defensively to just jump himself out. The cast going to bounce through. It'll bounce twice. It'll bounce 3 times. The 4th. And that'll be your first blood. That gas. The coconut coming in. And they get the Ice Shard block. Godblock in trouble.
Catapult.
He's got Aether Shock, the catapult, just blocking them in, but they do have the range to bring him down with Z-Freak getting a double kill. What a coconut, and what an Ice Shard. It's coming out from Complexity. Beautifully done.
That's brilliant. That's the opposite of... That's like Cardi's alternate reality twin.
Diving, Iceberg in trouble. Limp still has that Aegis, but TP's going to come through. Always Wanna Fly jumps in. He's got the Grave. They're going to bottle him up as well after coming back from base, and Iceberg will start to regen back up to full.
Well, this is definitely the start that Complexity we're looking for. Getting the first blood double kill bottom lane. Doesn't even matter that it's the Witch Doctor getting the kills, it's more just they're punishing the greedy lanes so far. The one matchup we haven't really talked a whole lot about, because there's been a lot of action in other lanes, is the Sand King top, and what Afterlife's going to be able to get here. If he can get a decent blink timing, get Epicenter, Blink Burrow going, it could be a nice way of stopping Complexity's aggressive potential, because they don't have the greatest sustain.
Anskin's gonna get caught with the shackles, but he should be okay. Maybe the Dazzle doesn't have poison touch, and Z-Freak's gonna rotate in. They're gonna just drop him back with the telekinesis. They've got cast, they will use it, and here comes the snowball as well. Fadebolt will fly. The Grave comes out. Can they bring him down? They need one more right click before this Grave, or after this Grave is done. But here we go. Ramses jumps in looking for the pounce. Godblock eating his way through the tree line, and Z-Freak might be in trouble now. Split Earth gets on a 2. Pulse Nova. Here is the Disco Goat going to work, and they'll find 2 quick kills. They're looking for a third. Godblock getting chased down. Ice Shards will not connect. Can Hansky get this telekinesis off? Oh, he blocked him in. Are you joking me? They're going to bring it back. Fadebolt up in 4. He's going to get Shadow Waved up, and here comes that beautiful snowball. 3 dead. And the Limp's rotation with Leshrac will provide them a couple of kills. It is now 5-0 for Complexity. Wow.
Dear God. That stun from Limp was just so fight-losing. Like, as soon as that hit on 2 hero storms, not 6, there's absolutely no way they come back from that. I think they just wanted to try to punish the over-aggressiveness of Complexity, just like diving into their woods like that, just trying to defend as best they can, because they know how important it is to buy a little bit of time for the Sand King to get his items. Like, the Shadow Shaman needs 6. All these heroes on the side of Team Spirit require some form of space until they're able to come online, and Complexity are just destroying them over it.
Yeah. I mean, the only one that really is getting space now is Afterlife. He's picked up a Soul Ring recipe. He's got Triangle Boots. So that Blink's not going to come out at the right time. At least not as early as maybe you'd anticipate it. Chessie, meanwhile, top lane, second net worth. If you look at the net worth chart and graph, there is a 4,000 almost experience lead for Complexity. Or rather, net worth lead and experience lead, I should say. So they have a great start. That's at 5 minutes. It's at 6 minutes into the game, guys. It's ridiculous. That's a lot of farm for Complexity.
Oh, Limp.
First strike. Pulse Nova's going to go. This could be a huge kill for them. He doesn't have Aegis anymore. Last right click will do the job. And the overload for Iceberg will get it done. Okay. All right. A kill's a kill, and it's a pretty big one at that.
Yeah, this is the this is maybe the one kill that can get him back into the game. The biggest issue with their cores right now is Iceberg and Ramses both desperately need 6. Because like the Slark is already a bad laner, we talked about that. He's not very good at stopping people from contesting his lane at all. Once he gets 6 though, he can trade as much as he wants, so long as he can get back into Fog and use Shadow Dance to regen. Storm is kind of similar, but it makes him very hard to gank once he hits 6 because of having the ball lightning. And Ramsey is just getting harassed even more here in this bottom lane, just kind of suffering right now.
He desperately wants that level 6 you talked about. Like, he needs that Shadow Dance. But he's not there yet, and it's going to be another creep wave after this one before he can get there. Especially if T-Spirit comes in with the rest of their supports and then the Leech experience. So, how is Afterlife doing? Up to 200 and 300 gold. He picked up the Soul Ring. He's going to get caught by Chessie here, maybe. He sees him. Doesn't go for the Wraith Fire Blast. Says, screw it. I'll just take your creeps instead.
I'm surprised he didn't just burrow that. But I guess he didn't have Sandstorm back off cooldown, so...
Oh, Iceberg. He ball it into waves out of mana. Split Earth will just barely miss as he's too far in the tree line. Always want to play will heal him up. Now there's a bottom action going on. The cast will come through. He pounces over the ice shards. Gets cast up, but that'll be the end of the fray. No actual fighting happening down bottom.
I wonder how heavily Complexity are going to go for Roshan, or if they want to try to go for tier 1s first. With the way that Limp is building, again, he's gone for the max Diabolic Edict. I think it would probably be safer for them not to do Roshan just yet. And then try to just push the towers, because when the Sand King gets Blink Dagger, it's going to become way harder to push into tier 1s, because then you always have to worry about Blink Epicenter and whatnot. And judging by the amount of farm the Afterlife has right now, it's going to be quite a long time. And I think Complexity should be feeling fairly safe with that information. They could even do what they're doing right now, which is rotating potentially Limp down there once he gets the rune.
If they want to go for Rosh, they can. It is a literally 8-minute respawn. It is the closest you can get to a pretty much instant respawn. But they're doing exactly what you talked about, Andy. They're going for this tier 1 tower down bottom lane. It looks like they will take it. And on top of that, they want to fight. Snowball, Godlike walks up for some reason. He's going to get snowballed up. They don't have the Walrus Punch. They do. The Split Earth comes out, and that will be the kill. The Walrus Punch coming through, so they will get a kill. And the tier 1 tower. And if they want to go first, they can try. But here's the rotation from both Afterlife as well as Always Want to Fly. However, there are 4 heroes down bottom.
They can't do anything with these heroes right now. Like, Afterlife is going to go for like maybe a Fog, Burrow, Epicenter, but that is such a hard play to make. Oh, actually, he doesn't even have Epi skilled. Yeah, okay.
Just kidding. The Sandstorm and Burrow Strike, yep.
Yeah, he didn't get it at level 6.
Tackles. Swindle as well as Z-Freak might be in trouble. The rest of their team aren't here. Double Burrow Strike coming out. Swindle in trouble. The Snowball away to the creeps, to the neutrals for Swindle. Ball Lightning. Do they want to fight for the save? All 5 here. Walrus Punch on the Ramses. He misses the pounce. Ball Lightning again. They will get this kill on a Swindle. It looks like with 1 Burrow Strike, they'll grab it. Can they get Z-Freak is the other question. The answer looks to be yes. You got Shackled up, Hexed up as well, and that is 2 kills. And T-Spirit, after rotating all 5 heroes, will finally get something done.
Yeah, that's really big for them, especially considering the Sand King lived through the entire engagement. So he's 7 now, still opting out of getting Epicenter, probably just going to save it for when he actually has the Blink Dagger. But those kind of kills mean a lot, because every single time you get Complexity off your side of the map, it's more time for Iceberg, it's more time for the Slark especially. And when all those cores live through the engagement, they all get the experience in gold. They don't have to have like any downtime. And now that Ramses is also level 6 with Treads, it doesn't sound like a big progression for him, but oh god, Always Want to Fly.
He's been spotted. He auto-attacked, I think accidentally even. That was not the play he wanted to make. Split Earth. God, they threw everything at him. He freaking got destroyed.
Arcanes before he died, though. I think it's okay.
That's at least a little bit going his way. He doesn't have weave yet. He's not level 6, so he's getting there. But I want to ask you guys, because I know Andrew, you definitely played a lot of Han. And Grant was telling me this yesterday, that Complexity love their casual cloaks. You can see Limp has one that might be turned into a Glimmer Cape, but these guys love their casual cloaks.
They do, and it's a little bit of a... I think it's an underutilized tool, but it's also something that's a relic from the past. In Han, the equivalent was much more value. It was only 400 gold, and the way their resistance system worked, it actually gave you more effective resistance than the Dota version. So it was super, super value to get. It was a mistake not to buy it most games. Now it's 50-50, but they definitely go for it whenever it seems viable.
They had 4 of them yesterday. They had 2 on the Lone Druid, 1 for himself, 1 for the Bear, and then 2 others in the game as well. So Complexity might go down that route again. There is a decent amount of magic damage on this team, especially with the Sand King coming out. A Cloak will definitely not hurt.
It's pretty good. If you use it for like half the game, then sell it back, it's only 250 gold, about a little bit less that you lose. Yeah. I think it can definitely provide that much value and resistance if you're fighting a lot.
It used to be even better when it turned into 8th Lens, but they just changed that literally yesterday. But now the Snowball, they're going to find Iceberg. There's the Death Ward, the Walrus Punch, Split Earth. Great combo of spells coming out to bring him down. And that will be the tier 1 tower falling as well.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Ramses.
Dire's bottom tower
Can't get it.
is under attack.
Yeah, this is still going very well for Complexity, though. The 2 tier 1s that are the most important for them are actually dead. It's only 11 minutes in. They can use that to go kill Roshan if they want. The longer they wait, the closer Afterlife is going to be to his Blink Dagger. He's going to go ahead and eat the reincarnation here from Chessie in the top lane. And also, when they were pushing mid, he did cancel Chessie's TP, because they wanted to 5-man. Chessie had just bought his Blink Dagger, and he was going to TP mid and potentially even go for 2 towers, or just try to go for Roshan. Looks like Afterlife is gonna pay.
That was dirty. They just dropped the Sentry. Chessie stands in Sandstorm. Worth Fire Blast. They just destroy him. Say again, JJ? I can't. Quiet.
He didn't spell steal anything, that's what JJ said. But I think he's way too much into level 6 for that kill to have gotten him 6. So yeah, maybe he just wasn't paying attention, or didn't want Sandstorm, because he didn't burrow before he died, right?
No, he didn't. He was just Sandstorming. Yeah. That's a good call. I mean, Sandstorm's not the worst spell to steal, but you'd like Burrow Strike more than anything else, but either way. Alright. 12 minutes in, 9-3. I mean, is this looking as good for Complexity as you thought it would? Especially in this early start, DRASKYL, or...
They're definitely on course. Like, this is a very good position for Complexity, no question about it. It's all going to come down to two things. If Team Spirit can get a good Blink Epicenter off, stop Complexity from getting an objective like Roshan, like a tier 2, like getting that one big team fight turnaround is how Team Spirit bring themselves into the game. Because Slark and Storm are those kind of carries that they do reach a critical mass. And in this kind of hero pool, with what Complexity have, they do not have the tools to deal with these heroes late game. They don't have the damage, they don't have the proper lockdown for a Storm and a Slark together. So they still need to always be very, very cautious of not giving away too much in these fights. And they're doing the right thing. Like, they're going for Roshan right now. They should get it. No real problem with that. And Sand King's 200 gold away from his blink.
Yeah, and even though their sieging is a little bit weak, just the Diabolic Edict, they still have a lot of healing in general with the Aura, as well as the Voodoo Restoration, which is now level 2. So they can Deathball pretty effectively here. Now they get another Aegis on one of the best damn Aegis carriers in the game, aside from Storm, old Leshrac there, and I guess he's looking for Bloodstone, first item probably with that point booster.
Yeah,
they did that yesterday with Swindle, so I would imagine Limp will do the same thing, and Bloodstone's very good on this hero too, so it'll probably pick up the Glimmer Cape after that, which is exactly what Swindle built. He went Bloodstone right into Glimmer Cape right after.
Oh, Ramses. Oh, that's the worst hero to run into, actually.
Wraithfire Blast will hit, but he does pounce to the low ground. How far do they want to chase this? He's going to go ahead and Shadow Dance. He's going to make it out. Meanwhile, in the tree line is Afterlife. He's got his point Epicenter finally, but he's the only one up here, and it looks like they do not want to fight. His TP is on cooldown for 36 seconds. They won't find him, but he's going to have to sit in that just dumb spot for a long time.
Well, they could potentially fight if they want to go for like a big blink epi. Like, it just depends. If they decide that it's not worth, and they don't care about their offlane tower that much, and it's not worth the risk of fighting into an Aegis, then they could just go push tier 1. Because they have the Mass Serpent Wards, and it looks like Gobblec's just going to throw them down here.
Yep. They'll try to trade. This tier 1 tower mid is pretty low, and it's a very good tier 1 tower to get, but they will lose their top tier 1 in the end. So that was
pretty unlucky, though, all things considered, for Complexity. Like, the way that Team Spirit played that was really smart. They had Ramses, the only hero on their team with good night vision, sitting off to the side in the woods. That way, just in case a smoke was coming, he would be able to see them before they could blink initiate and actually go on him. And even if he gets stunned, he has Shadow Dance, Dark Pact, so it's a very nice play from Spirit.
God. Afterlife is sitting in a very precarious spot, but Complexity have no idea that this is happening. They didn't drop an Observer Ward there. There is a Radiant one. Afterlife will walk all the way back around, try to cut the creep wave, I imagine, and defend this tier 2 tower, but it's already dead. That frickin' Disco goes to work with the Diabolic Edict, dear lord. Alright, they're gonna smoke it now.
This is pretty much 2 smokes in the course of 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're just going ham. They really, really want to find something with this. And their Rubik is not really that close to Blink, so their only Blink initiation right now is still Chessie. Which I think it should be fine. It's still kind of hard to catch the Storm, though, and it's a little bit difficult to catch the Slark, but anybody else you should be able to kill.
Blink right next to him, you get a stun off. There's a good chance you get either of them, but the ball lightning away can be pretty frustrating. They're not going to head further into the jungle, though. They're going to turn back around, head towards that top lane, and look for Godlike or someone.
For the time being, Complexity are just clearly in the advantage when it comes to map control, because every time they walk anywhere, the rest of Spirit are just like, alright, I'm out. And in that regard, the warding from Team Spirit has actually done a lot of good for them. They're making Complexity waste so much time. Like, they just walked across the map, like, what, 2 or 3 times? Trying to find somebody to kill and just really couldn't get anything out of it at all. Like, killing the towers is okay, but the real test for a team like this is trying to breach the high ground against Sand King, Mass Serpent Wards, and all that. So there's still quite a while before Team Spirit's lineup is fully online and capable, but it is a really good thing for them that their Sand King already has the core that he needs. That means that as long as he doesn't mess up an epicenter or something like that, that they have a very good way of winning a team fight still.
Yeah, and this is, of course, going to be... When that team fight happens, Slark will hopefully have another item or something along those lines, because they're really woefully underfarmed. What does the Storm have? He has 1,400 gold of Soul Ring. He's got a Null Tally as well. Looks like he could go theoretically into Bloodstone.
I don't think he'll go Orchid. I think Orchid is like... I mean, it's not bad, but it's going to be so late that I don't feel like it's going to give him what he wants. And Bloodstone is probably the item that's going to transition him better into the late game. So we'll see what he does.
You got choices, but always want to fly is going to walk right up to Hanskin. He's going to get telekinesis. There's going to be the Pulse Nova. He graves immediately. The Edict will go, and the Spell Steal will fly. That's a great pick up for Hanskin. Split Earth will fly, and Limp will get the kill because of it. He's actually running low on mana, but his Bloodstone is pretty close, and he's got his Aegis still as well. They'll try to take this Tier 2 tower. In the meantime, Serpent Ward's dropped at the bottom Tier 2.
Okay, this is a little bit risky here from Spirit. They have all 5 heroes from Complexity, and they just saw the Muse Mass Serpent Wards, which means that there's one big fight team utility ulti that's down, and that could give Complexity the little boost that they need to actually go try to just high ground this, because Edict is up again, they still have Aegis, and they have Mech on Swindle. Like, that ward usage might have just cost them a Rax.
The thing is, they will lose this creep wave, and Ramses did a great job split pushing in and actually cutting the creep wave. So there's only this range creep really to help them out at this point.
Yeah, but
Ramses, he's got the Shadow Blade. There's the Bro Struck. He's gonna get caught. Limp's in trouble as well. He has the Aegis, however, Snowball will fly through. They're in pretty deep. They will pop the Shadow Dance. Swindle will back away. Ball lighting back and looking for Chessie. Good grave coming out, which was stolen by the way for Hanskin. Wraith Fire Blast on Iceberg. Can they bring him down? Telekinesis, another great grave. This time on the rating side, the Death Ward will go. Chessie in some trouble, but he will stay alive. Death Ward's not doing enough. Ball lighting further away. They'll take the Tier 3 tower. It's time to back. Complexity, very happy with what they've just accomplished.
It wasn't too bad. I thought they might go all in for that, but I suppose the Sand King still hadn't shown Epicenter. I really thought that that could have been an overcommitment from Goblack, but they do defend that very well. Didn't end up losing any heroes for that defense, so good on them. They get the Tier 2. They lost their Tier 3 middle, though, which, I mean, I guess at the end of the day is still a favorable trade for Complexity. Breaking open the racks to be able to harass down, like just getting chip damage on the range racks, things like that, it all adds up over time. So I still feel like they came out on top, but maybe not as much as they wanted to.
Yeah, they might have to wait for the next stages. What do you think? Wait for the next Roshan, maybe your next set of items, or do you want to keep the pressure on like you talked about for Complexity to finish this game earlier rather than later? What do you think?
Well, Roshan's not really that far away. Like what, it's anywhere from 3 to 6 minutes at max?
I think like it was a 3-minute respawn, another instant respawn. It came up on the thingy on the side here, you know what I'm talking about. But
yeah, I didn't actually see it, so... I mean, worst case scenario, they have to wait like 3 more minutes. I think that's fine. If you look at the farm on the Storm and the Slark, it's still not anywhere near where it needs to be.
Right.
But a couple of bad team fights can just propel those heroes into a very good position.
We'll wait and see. They're going to drop the Serpent's top. They're using these pretty heavily on cooldown now. They're going to try to go for a Tier 2 tower. Team Spirit are doing all they can to really get back into the game through towers, and in fact...
It's really a good movement.
Yeah, they're going to have the same amount of towers that Complexity will have, or just about. It's actually going to be one outer tower piece.
Yeah, the wards that they had on the map basically saw Complexity leaving their side of the map. So the big difference between the way that he dropped the wards bottom and how he dropped them here is that he knew that Complexity were all on their side of the map, and 2 out of 3 lanes were pushed at least to a Tier 2. Which means that it's going to take a lot longer for Complexity to just barrel down mid again than it did previously.
Right.
Now, it might still be on cooldown for like 10 or 20 seconds when they get there, but it's not nearly as bad as just having freshly dropped your wards and it being like 90 seconds on cooldown when they're hitting your Tier 3 tower, which is why it took a little bit more effort for them to defend in the first place. But they are smoked.
They're going to see Hanskin, or rather Goblack here, and they do see him just at the corner of their eye. They see him passing through the tree line. Spell will be stolen. That's going to be Hex, and he's going to get cack stuck. They don't even need the Hex coming out as well, so... Easy kill. I mean, he'll die, but he'll be back at 30 seconds, and not that bad. But Ramses is going to cut the creep wave again. Look at this. He's already heading towards the mid lane. It's about to respawn with the creeps coming in, then boom. The creep wave will be cut.
Yeah, but I think with this creep wave, they could deal a lot of damage to base. 2 range creeps, 4 melee. They got the Voodoo Restoration. They need a way of killing the creeps. Like, their spam hero is dead. Like, that's the Shadow Shaman. He's the guy with Ether Shock. You don't really want to Blink, Burrow, and Sandstorm in a creep wave when you know that there's going to be a sentry down. But he has to do it to kill the creeps.
They'll Blink Burrow and they'll try to take it down. Ball lighting, not nearly enough damage to bring them down as well. And so the creep wave's still there. Ramses cuts the creep wave. Rax is still in trouble. The Glyph will go. This melee Rax is very important. Team Spirit not looking to maybe defend just yet. Chessie, can he do enough damage here? The Pulse Nova will go. The Hex Up will come out as well. Do they have another Edict? They do. Now Afterlife comes in, Burrow Strike up onto Limp, they'll get the racks, the cast will fly through, they'll work on the range racks, and Complexity will get it done and walk away without losing a single hero, or having really to use any big items or spells.
That was a really nice smoke from Cole. Like, they saw the wards drop, they're like, alright, we want to try to punish this, we know Tier 3 is exposed, so the ward usage does end up hurting them a little bit, but I do agree they had to try to do something. leap there from Ramses.
Great Fire Blast. They actually get the Force out as he gets Walrus Punch in the air, which was pretty cool. Split Earth, but they get off the grave just in time. Epicenter getting channeled. They're going to be on to 3. Is this the turn? They're low, but not low enough. And they get off the stick as well as Mech, I believe, coming through. Iceberg will fall. Godblack might be next. If they lost 2, they're about to lose 3. Split Earth will come through. Do they have the grave? They're not going to get it off in time if they do, but Ramses comes in, pops the Shadow Dance, wants Swiddle. He can't fight it. He has to back away now as the Pulse Nova is doing too much work against Ramses. They'll lose 4, and that is it. Game over at 22 minutes in. What a play from Complexity.
Wow. Well, the question was, can Complexity do it in time? And the answer is yes. 22 minutes, 16-3. What a performance.
Yeah, the lineup from Team Spirit was extremely greedy, for sure. Like, you saw Slark as a safe lane, Storm as a mid. These 2 heroes are not known for winning their lanes by any stretch of the imagination. And you had a typical Godblack greedy hero like Shadow Shaman, who also needs levels to be able to function in the game. He ended that game at level 8, okay? Like,
oh, God.
The way that this game goes is they put so much weight into the Sand King. Like, you gotta hit your big epi. This is how we come back into the game. If you don't hit a big epi, we can't win. And even with the Epicenter and Burrow hitting on 3 targets during the last fight, the offset with the Mech and the Voodoo Restoration coming out from Z-Freak, and plus the fact that, like you had mentioned earlier, 2 of their heroes had casual cloaks, 1 had a Glimmer. So it was very unlikely at that stage in the game that just 1 epi was going to be able to turn things in their favor. And I do think that if they had held long enough, that they might have been able to turn it around just based on the Slark and the Storm kind of snowballing out of control. But I do feel like Godblack's word usage was maybe a little bit too aggressive, and he was more caught up in, I need to try to get something from them, as opposed to we need to just buy our time. I'm not sure if they would have won that way, but him dropping wards 2 times resulted in them getting their tier 3 taken down and then getting raxed. So,
yeah.
True.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to end it for game number 1. Andrew, your thoughts here before we head out?
Hopefully Spirit can take it in game 2 so we can move on to game 3, man. That was a quick one.
Yeah, that left me wanting way more. It's just...
Yeah. That insatiable hunger, man. I need more dotes.
Yeah, agreed. Well, we're going to take a quick break, guys. Make sure you stick around for game number 2, which will be coming up shortly. Of course, we are here on moonducktv. Give us a follow on twitch.tv/moonducktv. Check us out over on Twitter at moonducktv as well. I'm Walt. With me is Ziori, Pitmunkle, as well as DRASKYL. We'll see you guys in game number 2.